Hey everybody, Roxabox90 with another top 10 EDH Commander card countdown, and today we're going to go through the top 10 journey into Nick's cards for the EDH Commander format. Realize that this list follows the same criteria as the other lists have in the past, and that is that we have the more universal, fit into the most decks, most general useful cards that will be used at large in the format near the top, and cards that are less general, more narrow towards the bottom. We also have a lot of honorable mentions, so let's start off with those. First up, we have three gods, Athreos, Pharika, Keranos. All of them are solid, good cards, may be able to be messed around with as commanders, but none of them are going to be seeing huge, widespread play in the format, and for good reason. The other gods we'll get to. Sage of the Hours we have, which is, a lot of people have talked about it. For me, it's a little too narrow a card. It'll fit into certain kinds of combo decks. It'll be a card that'll be fun to work with. It's a good, solid 2-drop that wants to go infinite, but because of that, it has a very narrow range of use, and that's, for me, too narrow for this list. Deceit, this card has another card called Wipe Clean, a lot cheaper money-wise, and has cycling, which is more useful in the format. Deceit, you'll probably see the gods, but the god effect of exiling the god doesn't really matter all that much since you only can play one. Twin Flame, this card will be a fun combat trick. It'll be fun, may even win you the game. But again, it's kind of narrow. There are plenty of other cards that do the same kinds of things. Daring Thief, Inspired is a lot of work. And this card works in decks like Zedru, which require you to be kind of group huggy and give your opponents exchanging stuff. Otherwise, not going to see much play. Polymorphous Rush, this card is fun. Rite of Replication is better, and it does too narrow for our list. Temples, all the temples are fine dual lands, but there is obviously much better, and so I'm not going to waste space on the list with them. Aegis of the Gods, we had True Believer before, saw some play in the right decks. Aegis of the Gods will probably be the same, probably even better than True Believer, more splashable, but again, it has a fairly narrow range of use, and unlike Spirit of the Labyrinth, there are other better cards for the list. Dictate of Helio, this card is solid, be fun to flash in, especially if you're running heavy aggro token builds, but again, heavy aggro token builds is where it's at. Dictate of Kruphix, Group Hug, not going to see much play elsewhere. Eidolon of Blossoms, Enchantress, Enchantment builds, it'll be fun, it'll be good, that's where it's going to see much play. Hall of Triumph, again, basically aggressive strategies with tokens. And Worst Fears to round out our honorable mentions list. This card is cool, it's fun, it's splashable. That being said, it's okay. Mindslaver is just so much better. It's always going to be better, and this card is not going to see huge widespread play as a result, I think. Top 10 list, we start at number 10 with Prophetic Flamespeaker. A good red card in the top 10 list in EDH Commander? Yep, believe it. This card is a lot of fun. It'll require some work to mess it up and really make it crazy, but it will really help red aggro decks. You give it some pumping up, it'll give you card advantage, which is important, and it, all in all, we'll see its narrow play, but it will see some play, I think. Number 9, Hydra Broodmaster. This card is Gelatinous Genesis on a big creature, and that matters because it makes him bigger. His body for a 7/7 is already awesome, and the fact that he makes himself stronger and also does Gelatinous Genesis, definitely going to be broken around in aggro decks. Number 8, Silence the Believers. This card is like Guild, but better, and the fact that it lets you use Strive to take out multiple targets, and also there's a lot of great commanders. I'm thinking things like Zedru. The point is, if Silence the Believers can hit any of these ridiculous Voltron commanders, and ones that rely on auras and enchantments, it'll be crazy. The fact that it scales up anyway already makes it a good card. The fact that it's 2 black, there are some better spot removal, and spot removal almost always fails compared to Wrath effects in the format, so I'm putting it far down the list. It's not going to see as much play. 7, Dictate of Erebos. We had a thing called Brave Pact. It is a good card. There are plenty of ways to abuse it, but it does cost 3 black. Dictate of Erebos is a flash 2 black version. Yeah, it costs 1 more, but that doesn't matter. For the kinds of decks that are using it, it is probably overall a better card. Very, very solid, fun, awesome effect, can work in tons of decks, and that makes it pretty good. 6, King Makar the Gold Curse. This is personally for me. I love this guy. He's going to be probably a Voltron commander. There's a billion ways waiting to be abused with him. Otherwise, he'll be a solid, okay part of the 99, but I think as a commander as well, he'll really shine. 5, Iroas, God of Victory. Da-dam. Iroas is what Boros and aggro decks that could run him want. He gives you so much advantage with a nice big power on him, and he's just ridiculous value. As a commander also, he's going to make aggressive strategies in Boros colors insane. 4, Kruphix, God of the Horizons. Kind of like Aroas, they probably could go 5 and 4 could be exchanged depending on your way of viewing things, but Kruphix I think will be put into more decks because I think Kruphix would work even in aggressive strategies that could use its colors, as well as combo and control, and Kruphix just overall is absolutely insane and will be a huge player in the format. Things like Prophet of Kruphix is one of the best cards in EDH Commander, with good reason. Its god is also pretty solid. Number 3, Ajani, Mentor of Heroes, our first Selesnya Planeswalker, and he is awesome. 2+1 abilities. Come on, guys, we've seen this before. He's pretty awesome. His first +1 helps tons of dudes and helps Voltron. Okay, plenty of green-white decks that like that. Also, +1 searches your deck for cards that green-white loves. Okay, I'm with you. 100 life. It's fine, it's good, it's cool. If you can get it going, then you'll be way in the lead. And yes, life gain doesn't matter all that much in the overall format, but guess what? 100 life more doesn't hurt. His 2+ abilities make him out of this world bonkers. Any deck that has green-white good stuff will consider running him for that reason. Number 2, Godsend, or God's End, depending what you think. Either way, this card is really, really good equipment. Not the swords, but pretty close. I would probably argue it's even better than Umezawa's Deceit in multiplayer for sure, maybe 1v1, just because the fact is it exiles. So you can put down huge creatures with this card, and it gives your Voltron commander insane advantage. There is also, in general, plenty of equipment decks out there that love this kind of thing. It's white, it's not horrifically expensive in this kind of format, and overall I think it'll see a lot, way more than people think. And one thing I'm trying to wrap my head around, for that ability that does let you recast stuff, I'm actually not sure if this works with commanders, because if you exile it to the command zone with Godsend, does that mean that they can't recast it? Because if so, Godsend is even more crazy than I think it is. But I'm not quite sure. If you guys know the ruling on that, let me know down below. Overall, great card, going to see play in lots and lots of decks. There's so many ways to abuse this. Number 1, Mana Confluence. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Based on my criteria, this card had to be at the top because I think it's just freaking awesome. It's one of the best, get any mana fixing lands in the format, and that's pretty much all you got to say about it. I mean, City of Brass sees tons of play. It doesn't really matter the differences between City of Brass and Mana Confluence in EDH Commander. Overall, they're both really amazing lands. City of Brass is seeing play forever. Mana Confluence will, I think, see lots of play. So that's my top 10 EDH Commander list for Journey to Nyx. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below about the whole list and the cards in the honorable mentions, as well as your own thoughts. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to tap the like button and stay tuned for more top 10 EDH Commander lists. And as always, Roxabox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.